Hey everyone, it's Kevin. In today's video, I'll be telling you how to eat like a normal person. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button and don't forget to check out some of my free resources below. And don't forget to check out my signature program, the Empowered Eating System. You can enroll today. How do you eat like a normal person? Why can't I just eat normally? This was a question that I asked myself for so many years, and it took me a long time to figure it out. I'm not even sure I knew what it meant to eat like a normal person. I think I had an idea of what it meant, but I didn't know what it was, and I certainly didn't know how to achieve that. I finally figured it out after many years of frustration, and you can go back and watch my previous videos on that. But in this video, I'm going to tell you what it's like to eat a normal person, and give you a couple of tips on how to do that. The first thing normal people don't do is they don't worry too much about what's in the food. You should have an interest in nutrition, you should understand the basics, you should have an interest in farming and agriculture and the whole food production cycle. Aren't you at least a little bit curious about how that food got to your plate? I am. You don't have to know everything, and you don't have to read an entire textbook or take a 4-hour course in college to understand nutrition. But what you shouldn't do is obsess over every ingredient, scan every label, scrupulously look at the menu before you go to a restaurant. You shouldn't try to estimate macros or calories or try to put it into your favorite fitness app. If you find one little ingredient that's on the list and then you don't eat it, that's a sign that you're a little too obsessed. Normal people don't do this. They order what they think is appealing to them based on what they know, and they make the decision. They don't overanalyze, is what I'm trying to say. They don't care too much about macros, they don't obsess over calories, they find something that meets their guidelines, their standards, and they go with it. They also don't ask themselves, is this going to make me live longer? They don't alter their diet all the time, looking for the perfect diet, looking for that diet that is going to give them eternal life. I know we want to think that the foods we eat will make us live forever, 120, 150 years, or 180 years if you're Dave Asprey. It's just not possible. My grandma's 93 and she pretty much ate whatever she wanted. Does that mean that you should follow her diet? No, she's an outlier. What I'm saying is that you shouldn't obsess over it. Accept your mortality, make good decisions based on the principles that I teach on this channel, and make a decision. The second thing normal people do is they follow normal hunger signals. Your appetite isn't broken, your brain isn't broken, your metabolic rate isn't broken. I used to think my hunger mechanism was broken, and I had to have a really strict diet and keep everything out of my home. The fact is, the only thing that was broken was my ability to make good decisions. I had faulty beliefs, and I kept believing those faulty beliefs. Those beliefs led to bad behavior, and I kept repeating that behavior over and over. But my brain was fine. All I needed to do was listen to its signals. I had to eat when I was hungry and stop when I wasn't. Instead of eating for distraction or for boredom or for some other emotional reason, I only ate when I was hungry to fill my physiological needs. And when I was full, I stopped eating. That is good nutrition in a couple of sentences. If you followed those rules all day, every day, you wouldn't have this problem. Following your hunger signals means no binge eating, no night eating, no chewing and spitting, certainly no purging, no eating to the point when you're uncomfortably full. Unless it's Thanksgiving or a birthday party, there's really no excuse to do that. The third thing normal people do is they eat for a variety. They eat from every food group. They eat meat, they eat vegetables, they eat seeds, they eat a little bit of junk food, they eat some processed food. They eat quite a variety. They don't eat the same thing every day. They don't have broccoli, rice, and chicken every day. They don't weigh everything. That's another thing. I'll talk about that in a future video. But they have sensible meals, and they come from all the different food groups, and they're not afraid to eat from every food. What about vegetarians and vegans? Well, what about them? So they don't eat meat, but they have tofu, tempeh, seitan, impossible meat. They eat meat substitutes. There are pros and cons of those, but still, they're eating a solid source of protein. They don't cut out entire food groups. The only food groups they cut out are the ones that they can't tolerate because they have a specific allergy. The fourth thing is they follow the 80-20 rule. You've heard the 80-20 rule before, the Pareto principle, whatever you want to call it. The 80-20 rule in this context means 80% of the time they're making good decisions, 20% of the time they are eating because it's fun. It's okay to eat for fun. It's okay to eat for pleasure. All humans do it. We've observed it even in tribes, even in prehistoric people. They ate for pleasure, they ate for fun, they ate to celebrate. That is not exclusive to our society. That is not exclusive to you. That is not exclusive to 2020. Eating for pleasure is okay. The problem is when it becomes 50-50. If you're trying to lose weight or you're trying to reduce weight, it needs to be more like 90-10. So if you eat 2,000 calories a day, that means 200 calories can be fun, whatever you want. So if you want to have a dessert, it just needs to be a sensible portion. So 200 calories is what? 2 scoops of ice cream? Maybe 3 if it's one of those Halo type ice creams. Fine, whatever. 2 cookies. That's your 10%. Don't go overboard. If it gets to 20, 30, 40%, that's when it's hard to lose or maintain weight. That's when you start overeating. That's when you start having blood sugar issues. Eating for pleasure is okay, just keep it in check. And if you're having a hard time to keep it in check, then consider full abstinence. I've talked about abstinence in some of my other videos on eating disorders, so go back and watch some of those. The 5th thing they do is they don't avoid social events. This is really important because a lot of people with EDs and disordered eating, they avoid social events for fear of overeating because there's some fear food at the party or the event and they want to avoid it. And they don't want to go because they have their own meal plan and they want to follow that meal plan to the T. Instead of going out, they binge or they eat their perfectly crafted meal at home. Meanwhile, they are missing out on social activities and social events that they can never get back. This is one of the greatest regrets I have about my AD. Sometimes I would skip social events because I needed to fast or compensate that day. Or I was so committed to a 2-day, 3-day, 4-day fast, whatever it was, that I didn't want to go out because I didn't want to break the fast. This crippled my social life and it made me miserable. One way to start becoming a normal eater is to start going to every social event that you possibly can. The only ones you shouldn't go to are stuff like baby showers where you're going to be miserable anyway. If you're skipping it because you're afraid of the food, I challenge you to go. That's your first step. This channel would not be possible without Esthetino artists. If you want to start producing your own content and start your own YouTube channel, then check out the Creative Business Academy. There is a link below. Alright, back to the video. They don't engage in compensatory exercise. They don't try to burn it off. They don't try to compensate. They don't try to make up for everything that they ate. They don't do an extra hour of cardio. They don't do an extra 200 sit-ups to compensate for the dessert they have. They're not playing this game of eat, compensate, eat, compensate, eat, compensate. They're not mentally calculating it all the time thinking, well, I had 400 extra calories today. I need to go to the gym for an extra hour. Unless you like going to the gym, and I do, but I don't want to spend my life there. If there's some food that's going to cause guilt and anxiety and you're going to regret it later, avoid it for now, but ask yourself, why are you feeling guilty and why do you feel anxious about it? You're probably too concerned about your weight. If you're trying to lose weight, I get it. But the best way to lose weight is to say no sometimes. If you're not really hungry, don't eat it. Trust me, the apple pie will be there once you hit your goal. I am not condoning restriction. If you're over restricting to the point that you can't function and you can't operate and you can't think, then you have a problem. But you need to end this cycle of eating and compensating. It's making you miserable and it's not making you healthier. The last thing that normal people do is they track and they measure. They keep their finger on the pulse, as I say. It is not abnormal to measure your body once in a while. But if you're constantly body checking, you're constantly scanning your body, I think you're a little too obsessed. Remember, there's a lot of normal eaters out there who are overweight and have health issues and are trying to lose weight. They're healthy and they have a good relationship with food, but maybe their relationship is too good. Sam Walton was the founder of Walmart, and his management style was over-the-shoulder management. He trusted people, but he just wanted to make sure everything was going right. So the same thing is true with normal eaters. They eat right most of the time, 80-20 rule, but they keep their finger on the pulse. They look over their shoulder once in a while. They step on the scale. They check their pant size. It's okay to check things. It's okay to measure things once in a while. Just don't let it become an obsession. It is important to have a normal relationship with food. It is important to be a normal eater. It's good for your sanity, but you also have physical health. And one thing I know is if you don't measure things, if you don't keep your eye on things, they tend to get worse. This is the law of entropy. We're going from a state of order to disorder at all times. And if you don't keep your eye on things, if you don't manage things, they're not going to get better, they're going to get worse. Stepping on the scale once or twice a week and checking your pant size and maybe using a tape measure to measure your body once a week, it's not a bad idea. What are some other habits of normal eaters? Let me know in the comments below. Hope you found this video educational and entertaining. Don't forget to subscribe and check out my free resources below. If you liked this video, I'm sure you'll like one of the other videos that you see on the screen. Click one of them, and I'll see you there.